My favorite part about this was the fact that they actually entertained the conversation. Like, he could have just looked at me and said, "You're stupid." And I would have accepted that. I would have been like, okay, you know. But I guess we're living in different times where people are a lot more sensitive and more mindful. And so he just wanted to make sure I was okay. So he's like, "Gabriel, look, I am not taking anything away from your credibility as a voice talent, as an entertainer, as an individual. But my hands are tied. Look, contracts have been signed. Checks have been cut. This is a union project." And I'm like, look at him go. The producer is also on this call. And the producer is the one responsible for the finance, the money. So he hears the director just freaking going down, and he's like, whoa, hold on. Hear the man out. "Gabriel, Fluffy, baby, talk to me, Puddin'. If we can make this happen, what are we talking?" I said, "What do you mean?" "Well, what are we talking? What's your rate? What's your fee?" I said, "Well, word on the street is I go for no less than 50,000. And I do have emails to support that. They still said no, but whatever. I know I'm going to have to defend Speedy Gonzalez again at some point, because unfortunately that's how cancel culture works. You know, and don't get me wrong, I understand that some people need to be held accountable, but and by the way, if I'm the one telling you about cancel culture, it's already gone way too far. Because I pride myself in the fact that I'm not a comedian who's divisive. That's why I don't talk about politics, religion, or sports. Okay? Because all three will divide people. That's why I talk about food. Because food brings people together. That's right, unless you're vegan. In which case, you can leave right now. I don't give a shit. I really don't. I don't care if I offend you and your salad. You can leave. Bye. And the only reason why I'm so on the vegans is because I once was vegan. I know some of you are like, no. Yeah. I was vegan for a little under a year. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, oh, that's not, you weren't even vegan then if it was less than a year. But think about it. Anyone who has ever gone on a diet knows just how hard it is to change your eating habits for 1 week, much less a year. And they told me, they said, you're going to lose weight. And they were not lying. I lost weight, patience, and friends. So I'm just here to let you know, I'm back. I almost got canceled. Because I posted a tweet of one of my dogs. Now, some of you already know I have 2 Chihuahuas. Yeah. You know, people watching at home, they're like, that's not stereotypical. Yeah, I know. I have 2 Chihuahuas. I have a little boy dog named Vinny and a little girl dog named Risa. Combined weight, 14 pounds. My little girl dog, Risa, she is 4 pounds, and she's 17 years old. Yeah. Her anger keeps her alive. I will confirm every stereotype about Chihuahuas. Oh, yeah, it's real. The rage is real. But with me, she loves me, okay? She's 17. She has no teeth. Her tongue hangs out. She's adorable. So I posted a picture of her on Twitter with the caption that basically read, going to take my little nugget to go get some chicken nuggets. And then I tagged at Chick-fil-A. Okay, so yeah, you feel that? See how the majority of the room was like, that place is good, sucks their clothes on Sunday. And then there was a few of you in here and you heard the groan, yeah. Half of those people, vegans. The other half are the ones that blew up my Twitter feed. My Twitter feed started getting flooded with nasty comments. You're stupid. You're horrible. How could you? We thought more of you. Really, Fluffy? You? And I don't know what they're talking about. The problem with cancel culture is they only attack. They don't educate. They don't explain. They just attack. And they expect you to know better or understand them, but they're not willing to play nice. So here's what happens. I'm asking questions. No one wants to answer. They're like, Fluffy, you're horrible. You're terrible. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, really? Chick-fil-A? I'm like, I'm sorry. Popeyes was closed. I don't know what to tell you. They're like, you know what you're doing. I said, I am more hungry than woke. I don't know what you mean. And then finally, someone took the time to explain to me why I was wrong for that tweet. Come to find out that Chick-fil-A in the past has been known to make contributions to organizations that are a little out of line with the LGBTQ plus community. Now, forgive me for using my hand to get the letters right. I just want to get the letters right. I do consider myself a supporter and an ally, and I'm trying my best to be as understanding as I can be with the limited information I have available. Now I'm going to say it again. I'm trying to be as understanding as I can be with the limited information I have available, which basically means I only read headlines. Here's the thing, you guys. There are a million struggles in this world. Every single day, there are people trying to better their lives, trying to get to a goal, trying to achieve something to get them out of one place and into something better. And it's impossible to keep up with everyone's fight unless you mess up and then someone pulls you aside and reads you the riot act. So, here's how the conversation went. Because I finally got one. They said, well, Gabriel, if you consider yourself a supporter of the LGBTQ plus community, moving forward, will you still be tagging Chick-fil-A in future posts? I said, yes, I will. But it's not because I'm not a supporter. I'm definitely a supporter of your cause, but causes are a two-way street. You got to support mine too. I said, I tag Chick-fil-A for the same reason I tag every other company I use organically. I'm trying to get free shit. Plain and simple, don't look past it. And I know some of you are like, well, Gabriel, don't you make money? Yes, I do. And you know how you keep it? Free shit. Yeah, let me tell you how I discovered this one. So I was at a Chipotle one night, and the staff was incredible. So I wanted to give them a little shout out online. So I gave them a shout out, and then I tagged Chipotle. Chipotle saw my tweet, and then they reached out to me to say thank you. And to show their appreciation, Chipotle mailed me a burrito card, good for 1 year's worth of unlimited Chipotle. And I tested it. Oh, they gave it to the wrong person. After about 2 weeks, it looked like a Metro card. It was all scratched up. So now let me tell you guys, if you were me and you sent out one tweet that got you fed for a whole year for free, wouldn't you be tagging as many companies as you could to see who else would want to donate to the cause? The only thing I'm guilty of is hoeing myself out. That's it. I was being a little cyber sucia. That's all I was doing. I love my son very much, you guys. It's just that sometimes he doesn't get the position he's in. He doesn't realize it, which is why I love it whenever he brings his friends over. He brings his friends over the house, and they're constantly saying what I'm saying. And as a parent, anytime you tell your kids something, that's one thing. When you can get their friends to say what you say, you can't pay for that. And they're always doing it. You know, Frankie, you're lucky, man. Your dad's trying to help you go to college. My dad wants me to get a job. Frankie, you're lucky, man. Your dad's trying to give you a car. My dad doesn't even trust me to walk. You're lucky, man. And I hear this and I'm like, I love these kids. Because see, my son is very numb to this situation. He's very numb to all of you, and he's very numb to Fluffy. Okay, he doesn't see Fluffy. He sees Dad. Dad. I'm just Dad. You know, I'm the guy that tells him, clean your room, take a shower, and put on deodorant, which he does very well now. But you guys saw what I had to do to make that happen. See, his friends, on the other hand, they still get excited when they see me. They still geek out. I walk into the living room, they're all sitting there. Frankie sees me. Hey, Dad. His friends see me. They see this. With like doves. Can you imagine if every time you walked into a room that happened? He's here! Ladies, imagine if your partner could do that for you. Huh? It's your anniversary, a celebration, some magical moment, or you're just laying there and you're drunk. And you're just like, what are you gonna do to me? What are you gonna do? One extra dove. And by the way, guys, if you're ever able to pull off the doves, just leave it at that. Don't try to top the doves. It's very hard to top the doves. Don't start running your mouth and talking smack. You're like, she's laying there, and don't start, you don't even know what's going to happen to you. You don't even understand. You're going to get it. Don't do that, because ladies, all you have to do is look at him and go, ah. Anyways, back to my son's friends. So my son has these two friends that come over the house all the time. One friend, his name is Ken, works a lot with computers. The other friend, his name is Fabian. He wants to be a police officer. Both of these kids are really, really good. Now, I keep calling everyone kids, even though they're all 18. But to me, they're kids. I'm almost 40. I'm like, Like some of the conversations that we have are very adult-like. And the other conversations, I'm like, what am I doing with my life? For example, at home when I'm hanging out, I usually just wear, very similar to now, except the Hawaiian shirt. I usually wear like a t-shirt that has like either Star Wars or Marvel Comics or Transformers on it or cartoons. I like wearing stuff like that around the house. One day, I'm wearing a t-shirt that has the Avengers on the front. And I walk into the living room, and my son's friend Fabian sees me wearing this shirt. And so he starts pointing. And I'm like, what's up, dude? He goes, weak. Excuse me? Weak. And then he says, DC's better. What did you say? DC's better. I'm like, DC's okay. Obama lives there. They pass laws. They got hotels, historic museums. It's not even a real state. I don't know why you're getting cray-cray. He goes, nah, fool, DC Comics. And I'm like, hey, man, I'm almost 40. I don't care. It's just a really cool shirt. I like it. It fits. No big deal. That's because they are. I go, you need to relax. They're the best. I go, you need to chill. And in my head, I'm like, why am I having this conversation? I have better things to do with my time, like trying to get my son on an elephant. But no. The kid in me's like, why are they the best? And then he points at the shirt again. Iron Man sucks. Batman's #1. I go, why? Because he is. I go, that's not an argument. First of all, Batman's not the best superhero. I hate to break it to you. He's not. I can hear people already getting ready to boo. They're like, oh, no, Fluffy, don't go there. Don't go there, Fluffy. Don't do it. Yes, I'm going to do this. Watch this. Batman's not the best superhero. Batman is the creepiest superhero. Batman is the creepiest superhero that has ever lived. He even sounds creepy. I'm Batman. I'm Batman. You don't recognize that voice? Want some candy? Help me find my puppy. Hello, he only comes out at night. His face is always covered up. He's always waiting in alleys. And who does he talk to? A guy named Joker, a guy named Riddler. His name is Batman. Joker, Riddler, Batman. Joker, Riddler, Batman. Those are Mexican gang member names. Can you imagine if that was Batman's real identity at night? I'm Batman. During the day? No, chingue su madre, soy Batman, loco. Todo el pinche día aquí trabajando y luego le parte la madre Joker. I'm Batman. I said, all right, Fabian, Mr. Batman's the best. Based on my t-shirt says Marvel Comics. I said, I see Thor, I see Captain America, I see Iron Man. Who are some of the superheroes that DC Comics has that makes them better than Marvel? Go. Batman. You said that. Superman. That's a good one. Wonder Woman. Okay. Green Lantern. Whoa, 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 whoa. I said, I know the other superheroes, but Green Lantern? What's his power? He wears a ring, and the ring gives him power. I said, that's a fantasy. I don't know any man who wears a ring who has power. And if you're not clapping right now, my point exactly. You can't clap, can you? You can't. You know why you can't clap? Because you're sitting next to kryptonite. He's not even clapping. He's like, no, 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 no. No. No, me pega Wonder Woman. No, no. Listen, you guys, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I feel just a pinch like a superhero in the sense that I'm able to walk out in front of large groups of people, change people's moods, make people smile, make people laugh, make people feel a little bit better. By that same token, like any superhero, I have my weaknesses too. You know, I come out here and I make you happy, and then I go home and I piss off one person. Because she don't want to hear about this. She doesn't want to hear about you guys. I can't go home and brag. Baby, it was crazy in Chicago. That's nice. Take out the trash. But they were clapping and chanting my name. Oh, is that going to help? Okay. Take out the trash. Take out the... I enjoy myself, you guys. I have a lot of fun. I made the reference to the police officers. And, you know, sometimes there's problems everywhere. Cops used to mess with me a lot. That's why I love getting recognized now. Now they're just like, oh, it's you. I'm like, oh. That wasn't the case 6 years ago. I did a theater show just like this one in the city of San Antonio. As soon as the show was over, San Antonio, ¿qué pasó? As soon as the show was over, you know, I'm hanging out in the lobby, taking pictures and stuff, and then we go outside, and I get stopped in front of the theater, in front of my own poster. How sad is that? You know, freaking, what are you doing? Standing. You have any ID? Keep going. All right. Oh, now, every chance I get to have fun with them, I will. Last time I got stopped, the cop came to the car all mean. You know why I stopped you? I looked at him with a straight face and I said, 'cause I'm black. Hell yeah, man. What's up, player? He turned the flashlight on, you guys. Get the hell out of here, stupid. Yay, yay. Oh, and by the way, thank you to whoever brought the chocolate cakes in the back. I got them right before the show. Thank you very much. Very cool. Mm-hmm. Somebody brought Chico's tacos too. I thought that was great. Now, you guys here know what I'm talking about, but everybody that's watching at home, they're like, Chico's tacos? Oh, what the hell's that? It's an El Paso tradition. If you come to El Paso, just know that that's right here. That's the tradition in El Paso. I ran into people in other places like Chicago and New York. I'm like, where are you from? El Paso. And I say, Chico's Tacos. And they're like, oh. Like, wow. Yeah, that's hardcore. It is the craziest food I've ever tried, you guys. Craziest ever. Reason is, they give you these little taquitos and there's like a sauce and you pour it and like the taquitos float and then it absorbs and I never thought I'd see the day where I could drink a taco. Yeah. And you gotta have that at the end of the night. Don't try to freaking plan out events after going, you know. They'll say, oh, we're gonna eat at Chico's and then go to the movies. No, don't do that, don't do that. You know? You'll be sitting there like, hey, this is a good movie, huh? This is the one where Nicolas Cage comes out and... Anyway, he plays the bad guy in this movie and it turns out really good. Then all of a sudden, you're running by people. They're like, chicos.
El Paso tradition.
You know what's funny? Is that a year from now, there'll be people watching this all over the world. Just like the first DVDs in Canada, Australia, and Europe, this DVD will wind up somewhere in Australia. And there'll be people in Australia going, what the hell's Chicos?
Crocky, we gotta go. We gotta see Chicos.
You watch. People freaking out. I say, we must go try Chicos. It sounds splendid.
Yes, it does.
Drink a taco. I never thought I'd see the day. I'm going to try it. El Paso it is. Looking at people in the front right here. If you're here tonight with someone you have no business being here with, and you see a camera coming by, just be like, hey.
Victory!
They're very respectful. They'll go to the next person. Don't even worry about that. Before I forget, you guys, I would like to thank the Allstate Arena for providing some amazing accommodations backstage. Let me tell you right now, I love my dressing room for the simple fact that it has basic things that I really like light switches. A lot of these arenas are now starting to go green, and so they're taking away the light switches and they're replacing them with sensors. Sensors are cool when they work. You know what I mean? Like when you're 10 feet away and it senses you and the whole room just... What I don't like is that when they're messed up, then you have to walk into a dark-ass room and establish your presence. But then you stand still for 4 seconds. No. Shit! In addition, backstage, my sink has knobs on it. I have control of the temperature and the pressure of the water, which in the Chicago area I believe is very important, especially in the winter. Oh man, you guys are no joke in the winter. You need warm water when you wash your hands. You can't rely on a sensor that gives you nothing but cold water, because you wash your hands with cold water, your hands get all cryptic. Then you go outside and people are making fun of you. Look at Thriller. But my dressing room, you guys, has a sink that has hot and cold. You can control the water. You can control the temperature. You can control the pressure. I hate it when they take that away from us and they replace it with that little sensor. So now, in addition to being a comedian, now I got to be a magician. I'm not a magician, but if you watch me wash my hands, that's what I look like, you know, just... Nothing. Then you walk away. Shh. I feel like there's someone behind the mirror messing with me, like, watch this. Some places stop there. Some places keep going. I like a lot of soap when I wash my hands. I like a good soap dispenser. I like the, the pump. I hate it when they take that away from us and then they replace it with that little spout that goes next to the faucet. You stick your hand under it and it gives you that little booger of soap. You know what I mean? That little moco, you put it under. You know you need more, so you pull it out and then you go back in, but the sensor's like, no, it's still you. Now you gotta trick it, right? Yeah. Once you get enough soap on your hands, now you gotta try to wash it off. But you can't wash it off then and there because the timer for the water has timed out. So now you have to back up and now you have to put on a second performance. Now it's a race to get that soap off your hands. Once you get the soap off your hands, now you got to try to dry your hands. Some places still give you a towel. Some places give you paper towels. Some take the paper towels and they put them in a box on the wall with another sensor. And there you are. 3 inches of paper. 3 inches, Chicago. You can't do anything with 3 inches. Ask any woman. They'll tell you. Or a guy, I'm equal opportunity. I need control of the paper. I need the crank. Some places stop there, some places keep going. Have you ever walked into the bathroom stall? closed the door, locked it, turned around, looked at the toilet, and seen a blinking red light on the wall. And you're like, really? Here too? All you're trying to do is get the tissue paper off the wall for the toilet seat. You take one step. I haven't even done anything. You grab the paper. Hey! You turn around and you put it on like a cape. And you let it slide down your back while you slowly try to time it just right. And just as you're about to sit down, somebody always walks into the bathroom and distracts you. Huh? But it's too late. Your knees are bent. And unless you do CrossFit, you're not coming back from that one. Then your bare ass touches the seat. And you're like, ah! And just when you think it can't get any worse, and all this water splashing up, hitting you right in the ass. And then the water goes down the drain and it creates that air vortex that goes right between your legs. So now you have a tsunami in the back. You have a tornado in the front. And who's the victim? Pikachu. And he's holding on for dear life. You haven't even made magic yet and you've already been violated by plumbing. Now you do what you need to do. You finish. Now it's time for cleanup, time for maintenance. So you reach over for the toilet paper. And the problem with using the restroom nowadays is that most venues, including this one, instead of putting a human-size toilet paper roll inside of the human-size toilet paper roll dispenser, they take their ass to Costco or Sam's Club or one of these places where you buy in bulk, and they buy that giant gorilla roll of toilet paper. And then they come back here and they force it into that little tiny compartment. And then they close the door on it. So now this giant wheel is locked in place. You can't even spin it. You're just... You can't even find where it starts because they glue it. Out of desperation, you got to pull out your car keys and cut into the side of it like a bag of cocaine on Narcos. Then you get the paper. You try to wipe. Chicago, a year from now, I am predicting that they're going to take 100% control of the restroom. You're going to be sitting there and you're going to think of me because you're going to see it. You're going to look over to get the toilet paper, and there's going to be a blinking red light on it. And you're going to be like, oh my God, Fluffy called it. And what are you going to have to do? One sheet. You're going to get frustrated and just sit on it. Just sorry, bro. I know that was a lot of culo. I threw at you right there. She's like, it's like I said, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, someone's going to find a way to twist things and make it bad. I've already gotten an email over the fact that I did that joke about that nothing on this planet loves me more than my dogs versus my son. Someone already reached out and they're like, oh my God, how devastating for your son. I'm like, he knows. I love him very much. My son is going on 25 years now. He's 24 years old. Frankie is 24 years old. Yeah, thank you for clapping. He's still at the house. I did an interview recently, and someone was asking me questions about my son. They said, you know, Gabriel, you've always mentioned your son in your specials. Can we look forward to a new story coming out? And I said, not really a new story so much as, because my son is doing his own thing now. He's doing his own thing. He's got his own life, and that's awesome. I do, however, still have stories from the past that I never told. And he goes, well, do tell. I said, okay, my favorite story is actually probably the first one. In 2007, when I first got him. Some of you know he's technically my stepson, but I've never liked saying stepson. He is my son. Yeah. He is my son or my aftermarket child. No gray area. Anyway, it's 2007, and for some reason, I'm home on Halloween. Now, here's the thing. As a comedian, I have signed up to perform 365 days a year. There is no sacred day for me. I work on Christmas Day. I work on New Year's Eve, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, birthdays, holidays, special occasions, no matter what. My mom told me, si hay trabajo, hay que trabajar. You got to work, especially if you got a good job. You don't want no one to take it. So if you're going to go for it, give it everything. So the fact that I'm not working on Halloween is super rare. And so my son's mom is like, she's like, I think this is so cool that you're home today. You know, since this is Frankie's first year where it's just the three of us, how about this? How about tonight you take him trick-or-treating and I'll stay home and give out candy. This way it'll give the two of you an opportunity to get to know each other, have some conversations, have some laughs. What do you think? I said, baby, you know what? That's a great idea. I love it. I love it. Okay, I'm on it. Frankie, come on. We're going trick-or-treating. What about my mom? She's going to stay home. Yay. So we get in the car. And I take Frankie to that neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? That neighborhood that gives out the Costco candies? Yeah. So we park the car. And we start going up the street. And I'm not wearing a costume. I'm there for him. So he's dressed up for Halloween. I'm just me. So some of the doors we knocked on, the people freaked out. One guy was like, the Fluffy. I'm like, oh my God, I've never been referred to as the Fluffy. I didn't know what to say. It is I. One door we knocked on, they opened the door, they're like, oh my God, you're famous. I was like, We go all the way up, we cross the street, we come all the way back. By the time we get to the car, the bucket is overflowing with candy. Okay? So we get back to the house, and it hasn't even been an hour. We walk in, and Frankie's mom is pissed. She's like, the hell is this? I go, what? I thought I told you to take him trick-or-treating. I go, I did. Show the score. The whole point of you taking him trick-or-treating wasn't to get candy. The hell you say? What was the point? The point was for the two of you to spend time together, have some laughs, have some conversations, get to know one another. You're not going to do that in an hour. Can you please, for me, take them out one more time for at least an hour? Baby, I get it. Don't even worry about it. I got it. So I said, Frankie, come on. Dump out your bucket.
Round two.
So we go outside. We get in the car. I don't want to go door to door again. So I said, I got an idea. I take Frankie to Walmart. We get to Walmart, and Frankie goes, what are we doing here? I got it, watch. We walk in. I said, grab a cart. Follow me. And I lead Frankie all the way to the candy section. Well, as soon as we get to the candy section, I stop the cart. And I got in Frankie's face, and I said, Frankie, you have exactly 30 seconds to grab as much candy as you can. Ready? Go! And he froze. I said, dude, clock's ticking. You better move. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So he grabs a bag, looks at it, throws it in the cart. Grabs a second bag, looks at it, throws it in the cart. Grabs a third bag, and on the third bag, time! And it was the first time I heard him go, shit! Because he knew he wasted that golden opportunity those first few seconds. So we get to the car, I rip open the 3 bags, I dump them out in his bucket, and I tell him, look, Frankie, when we get home, you cannot tell your mom that we went to Walmart. Why not? because she's going to say that we cheated trick-or-treating. But it's better. I know it's better. So we get home, and of course now it's a different tone. She's like, there you are. Did you guys have a good time? We had a great time, baby. We had a good time, huh, Frankie? That's good. Frankie, give me your candy. Why, Mom? Because I need to go through your candy to make sure it's safe for you to eat. Why wouldn't it be safe? It all came from... Cállate, pendejo. Cállate. Cállate, cabrón. Cállate. He almost took down the empire, you know what I'm saying? So he hands over the bucket, and she grabs it and immediately dumps it out on the table right in front of us. She notices, you know. There's a lot of the same candy right here. A lot of the same candy. Can you explain why there's so much of the same candy in Frankie's bucket? I don't know what to tell you, baby. There's a lot of basic bitches in this neighborhood, you know, just kind of, I don't know. We can't go back to that other neighborhood because they got cameras and they're going to know us, and we don't want to be that person. Nobody wants to be that. So fast forward 1 year. It is now October 31st of 2008. And for some reason, I'm not booked on Halloween again. And so my girl's like, she swears up and down, oh, it's a sign. It's a sign. I'm like, it's a sign my agent is slacking. Shout out, Matt. I know you're here. Sorry about that joke. You're doing a great job. Thank you for this one. I know, but that year you dropped the ball. So, but anyway. And so Frankie's mom is like, I think that, you know what? Maybe, just maybe we can make this like a tradition. You know, this could be your guys' thing. The two of you go out trick-or-treating, and then I'll stay home and give out candy. This could be your thing. I go, you know what, baby? Sounds good to me. Frankie! Come on, we're going trick-or-treating. What about my mom? She's going to stay home again. Yay! So we get outside, we get in the car. I lean over and I look at Frankie and I said, Frankie, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Walmart. We pull up to Walmart. We walk in. I said, Frankie, grab a cart. Follow me. And I lead him all the way to the candy section. As soon as we get to the candy section, I stop the cart and I get in his face. I said, Frankie, you have exactly 30 seconds to grab as much candy as you can. Ready? Go! Apparently, this motherfucker was training all year for this. As soon as I said, go, his arm, bam, and he starts gutting the shelf. He's ripping bags of candy into the cart. He overflowed the shopping cart in 10 seconds. The difference between Snoop's show versus any other talk show I've ever done is that usually there's a person, like a producer or a director, who comes to you and gives you information, like how the show begins, topics you're going to cover, how you go to commercial, how you come back from commercial. I've spoken to no one. Snoop just starts talking, and at some point, they hit record. I'm waiting for action or a buzzer and something. Snoop just starts talking to me. Yo, what up, Big Fluff? Big Fluff. Oh, that's hey. Yo, you like music? Snoop, I love music. I love your music. Yeah, that's what's up. He opens up a laptop computer and then he hits play. And the next thing I know, we are listening to hardcore Mexican banda music. I mean hardcore. And you can hear gunshots in the song. And then a cow. And the whole time Snoop is like, I love it when he go moo. What? I feel like he's messing with me because I'm Mexican, right? So I called him out. I said, Snoop, Do you understand what you're listening to? And he said this, and it scared me. He said, gangster recognize gangster. The reason why it scared me was because he was telling the truth. We were listening to actual Mexican cartel songs that don't play on the radio. And the fact that he knew that, the fact that his level of street knowledge in another language was that on point, I said, I gotta shut the hell up. Don't speak unless spoken to. That's the code. Next thing I know, Snoop reaches under the desk and he pulls out the biggest blunt I have ever seen. Oh, this sucker was huge. As soon as he pulled out that freaking blunt, I got excited because I wanted to grab my cell phone. Okay? I wanted to grab my cell phone so that I could take a selfie of Snoop in the background being Snoop. So while I'm fumbling, trying to get my phone, Snoop starts talking to me again. Yo, Big Fluff. Yeah, what? Hit that while I hit this. The second I went like that, all of the cameras in the room, red light, red light, red light, red light, red light. My publicist is like, no! My son is like, yeah! And now I'm being faced with a serious situation because, you know, I've talked about friends participating in doing stuff like this, but I've never openly talked about myself, you know. And now I realize that from this moment forward, people are gonna know what happened here with Snoop. So I started trying to find ways to justify it to myself. You know, if you're gonna do something like this on camera, you want it to be with Snoop. You want it to be with Snoop, Cheech and Chong, or Willie Nelson. Next thing I know, the manager hands me a lighter. I light it, and I take a big hit. So listen, I'm doing my best to hold in all this smoke because I don't want to look like a punk in front of Snoop Dogg. I'm trying, I'm fighting, bro. It's hard, you know. The whole time Snoop is like, hell yeah. That's what I'm saying. Fluffy going puffy today. I do not remember the rest of the interview. What I remember is my buddy Anthony telling Snoop Dogg and I to stand up for a picture. Stand up, get up for a picture. And so Snoop and I both stand up to take this picture. I put my arm around him. I have to put my arm around him because he's much taller than me, okay? Snoop has me by at least 5 inches. Shut up, are you? You guys are laughing at the wrong jokes. Bow wow. Yeah. Everybody's like, this is a family show. Well, apparently that's how families are made. That was too funny, sir. That was too funny. It's sad how hard she laughed at that as she looked right at you. I said, Snoop has me by at least 5 inches. And she's like, ah! Almost like she wasn't even laughing at me. She was like laughing at you. So apparently you guys have some story that I just reignited and now it's awkward for all the kids. So anyway, Snoop and I are taking photos and then I can hear my son, Dad, Snoop, can my son take a photo with you? Yeah. Get over here. And so Frankie runs up, you guys, and he's so cute because he's geeking out really hard. He's like, Snoop, this is my son Frankie. Frankie, say hello to Snoop. And Snoop looks at me and he's so cool. Snoop is like, yo, this your kid? What up, baby Fluff? And Frankie's like, I don't like that name. That's too bad. Get a job. Go. So Snoop and Frankie go into the corner to take pictures. Meanwhile, I walk back over to the desk because I want to grab the sheet that has Snoop's name and my name on it. I want to have Snoop autograph it so that I can frame it and put it on my wall. While I'm doing that, Frankie walks up from behind me and he whispers in my ear, all right? He's trying to be all cool. Dad. Huh? What? Dad, would it be okay if I finish smoking that with Snoop? Now I am being faced with the biggest moral decision of my life. And I'm high. And my mind is racing 1,000 miles an hour. I'm like, should I let him? Should I not let him? Am I a good dad? Am I a bad dad? What's his mom gonna think? I need a Snickers. And then I thought about it. You know, Frankie, you're over 18. Technically, you don't have to ask me if you don't want to. So as far as I'm concerned, where'd you go? A minute later, I am recording my son in a cloud with Snoop Dogg. And then I sent the video to his mom. Hashtag biscuit blocker, yes I did. Now, did this actually happen? Yes, it did. You can go online and watch the video on YouTube, punch in Snoop Dogg. Next to that, put Fluffy or Gabriel, and you can see the whole thing. Let me know how it turns out. The fact that I got to meet Snoop was awesome. He looked for me.
hit a bunch of California and San Diego. Yeah. And a